Hello, this is Chris from GrowQuest, and I'm profiling some of the containers from the container gardening project that I've been doing for a little over a year. It's mid-July. I wish I'd done some updates earlier, but I had not. As you can see, some of the plants are thriving in terms of olives. Have this Grappalo here, which I'm quickly concluding is probably one of the best container olives for a homeowner or for a patio setting due to its branch density. You don't want an olive that's just going to go sky high in a container garden setting. And this is Picholene, and you can see Picholene is a very vigorous grower in terms of its upright growth, which would make a great olive tree in a garden setting planted in the ground, but a difficult tree to have fruit on in a container environment. Whereas Grappalo in Mission, let's see if there's a Barouni around here. Farther down to the side here we have a Barouni, which is an extraordinarily awesome olive, and as you can see, extremely dense and low branching. Barouni also has very large fruit, some of the largest fruit of any olive. But this is just a casual overview of the olive trees to date. This is an Arbosana. It's also a clonal tree. This is a Arbosana I-43, which means it's been selected for its columnar growth and its dense fruiting characteristics. It's important to know that when you're buying an olive tree on the internet, most of the trees that you're buying, if they're an Arbosana, Arbequina, Frantoio, many other varieties, are clonal trees that have been selected for oil production. This means that the trees grow quite tall and very dense and not very wide. Most of the people who sell olive trees on the internet don't really have a clue what they're selling. They could be just substitute shoes for olive trees, and that would be the extent of their knowledge. And they rarely ever put it that's a clonal tree. Doesn't mean it's a bad tree, it just means it's an excellent tree for making olive oil, and if you buy 50 to 100 of them, you might be able to find a way to squeak out a quart of oil. So this Arbosana I-43 looking fairly good for a tight patio tree in terms of a columnar growth. The best performing olive tree of the entire winter, and keep in mind my temperatures were often down to 13 degrees with an amazing wind chill. I live in the high desert most of the time when I'm not down in Ventura, and the temperatures up here and the weather is absolutely brutal. 50-mile-an-hour winds, very cold in the winter time, and then the next day it could be 60-something degrees, 70 degrees. It just absolutely blown away by the variance in weather here. And the best performing tree of all, although it doesn't look like very much at the moment, is Tagiasca. Tagiasca is an exceptional olive for its fruit or as a table fruit and as an oil. And Tagiasca has proven to be the best performing cold tolerant olive tree out of all the varieties that I had this year. All of this new growth that you see here has been ongoing since November. It was growing out like this even in the coldest weeks. It's growing like that because it nearly died in the heat last year from a lack of water, but that's a separate issue. That's called just benign neglect. So it's a little bit of an overview on the olive trees here, and I'll make a much more in-depth profile of each one later.